Good afternoon, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for Wednesday, September 17, 2025. And in the news this afternoon, wanted man charged for killing of 14-year-old student. A man was charged on Monday in connection with the murder of a 14-year-old girl on Hill Avenue in Kingston 11 earlier this year. The accused, 24-year-old David King, otherwise called the Breadback, was charged after police discovered he had been shot, injured, and hospitalized. King is charged with murder, 2 counts of wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of ammunition, and using a firearm to commit a felony. He is charged with the death of Tyrone T.T. Thomas, a student of the Pembroke Hall High School. She died after gunmen reportedly fired into a group of people from a motor vehicle. 2 other people were injured during the incident, the police had reported. Reports indicated that around 1:45 p.m., the 3 were, among others, standing on a section of Hill Avenue when a motor car drove up and several men opened fire from the vehicle. They then drove away. When the shooting ended, Thomas and the 2 men were found suffering from gunshot wounds. Residents rushed the injured to the Kingston Public Hospital, where doctors pronounced Thomas dead. The others were admitted in stable condition. King was named as a person of interest in the incident by the St. Andrew South Criminal Investigations Branch. This was later elevated to wanted following intense investigations. King reportedly eluded the police during several operations in and outside the corporate area for the past 4 months. He was later injured and hospitalized in a separate incident in the St. Anne Division on Saturday, September 6, 2025. King was positively identified during investigations, following which he was charged. Construction worker slapped with gun-related charges. A construction worker has been charged with the possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition following an incident at a gas station in Duncan's Trelawney on Monday, September 15. Charged is Gary Ferguson of Mark Lane, Kingston, and Great Pond Oterius in St. Anne. Reports from the Falmouth police are that an off-duty policeman was at a gas station in Duncan's Trelawney when a Subaru motorcar drove up. The Subaru motorcar matched the description of a motorcar that was reportedly involved in an incident at a gas station in Discovery Bay in St. Anne earlier that day. The off-duty policeman reportedly accosted Ferguson, who was driving the motorcar. The motorcar was searched, and a Yamaha Max .45 pistol with 1 magazine containing 5.45 cartridges was found. Ferguson was arrested and subsequently charged. His court date is being finalized. Cashier charged following wounding of pregnant woman. A 40-year-old cashier has been charged with wounding with intent after she allegedly stabbed a pregnant woman. Charged is Julie Donaldson Morris, a cashier of Lilliput St. James. Reports from the Montego Bay police are that about 7:20 a.m. on September 9, Donaldson Morris and a woman with whom she had an ongoing dispute were involved in an altercation. It is reported that during the altercation, Donaldson Morris allegedly used a knife to inflict stab wounds to the woman's upper body. The woman was reportedly pregnant at the time of the attack. The police were alerted, and upon their arrival, the woman was taken to the hospital where she was treated and released. Donaldson Morris was arrested during a targeted operation and was formally charged on Monday, September 15. Her court date is being arranged. DPP Llewellyn to demit office Friday, charges successor to love the job. Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn opened the Michaelmas term in the Home Circuit Court on Tuesday morning, marking her final time doing so. Ms. Llewellyn has served as DPP for 17 years, making her the longest serving and the first female to hold the position in Jamaica's history. In passing the baton to her successor, Ms. Llewellyn stressed that love for the job will be crucial.
it has been a great pleasure. And along the way, I also didn't do too badly as a mother. As hard as I worked, because it's well known that I'm a workaholic, my daughter has done well. So I must have done something right. But to my successor, I wish all the very best. It's not an easy task, and you have to keep focused, but most importantly, you have to love the work that you do. And what I would advise, keep on operational efficiencies of the office.
This interest in education cited as factor in student loitering and the truancy. First, the Vice President of the Association of Principals and the Vice Principals, Linton Weir, believes the loitering and the truancy among students has intensified in the last few years, pointing to a lack of interest in formal education as one of the several causal factors. Mr. Weir says inadequate parenting and the shifted system were the other contributing factors. His comments follow Monday's operation in Spanish Town, led by the St. Catherine North Police, to address loitering by students in the town. Speaking with the news, Mr. Weir, principal of Old Harbor High School, commended the police for the initiative, dubbed Operation Learn Not to Loiter, which he said will greatly assist the school administrators in getting students off the streets. But he said there are a number of variables that must be addressed, including the removal of approximately 27 schools from the shifted system and the parents providing better supervision for their children. Additionally, Mr. Weir argued that children have long been taught that the vehicle out of poverty is education, and while that message remains, our children are seen differently now because they recognize that there are other things that are providing them with resources outside of education.
So that our parents can provide intense supervision as it relates to our children. Separate and apart from that, when I was growing up, my grandmother would have shared with me that the vehicle out of poverty is education. While it is that we are communicating same to our children are seen differently now because they recognize that there are other things that are providing them with resources outside of education. Quite a number of our students are not interested in school. And that is why you find quite a number of them on the street loitering, not paying attention to the curriculum, not paying attention to school. It is going to be very, very important for us to put all the pieces together so that our young people can aggressively move back and take up their position in institutions.
In the meantime, sociologist Glenn Tucker has urged the authorities to examine the social backgrounds of children found loitering during school hours. Mr. Tucker said some students are faced with an unwritten rule that they need to contribute to the welfare of their homes.
And when this is so, it manifests itself in a variety of different ways. So there are children who need to understand that their parents are not concerned about how you come by it, but you have to contribute to rent, you have to contribute to the mother's birthday, you have to find a number of other monies to make up for certain things. And because of that, you need to be out in the square sometimes. And the casual onlooker is going to say, you're just careless, you're just chatting. But that is not really, not fully the case.
Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.